How are
Good
you?
morning.
It's earlier where you are, isn't it?
It's 9 a.m.
It's 9 a.m. We're post drop off, so we're all good.
Kids are at school. We're ready to go.
Oh my God. Oh my God. All right. Well, I just want to introduce both of you. So Jacqueline, am I saying Jackie or Jacqueline?
Jacqueline, thank you.
Jacqueline, great. And Stephanie live from Chicago. I lived in Chicago for a year after college, so I'm familiar. It's been a while. Every once in a while I go back because a friend will have a wedding or I'll have some kind of reason to visit. But I'm sure you are experiencing a crazy market.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, we are.
We're watching your market too, and we can see it's similar.
Yeah, I mean, things are getting, things have been, I would say we've been in a good place now for a solid year where it's been really, really busy, and which has been really positive for us. I would say that, that we definitely had a bleaker time during COVID than other markets. We definitely, New York City, we had, I would say our low point was definitely the fall of 2020 as far as pricing and deals were concerned, where you were getting real value. And now, the height is always higher every time it comes, than before. And so I think all of us are, we're experiencing inventory shortage, like what you've been experiencing for a lot longer than we have. And really for us, that's truly in the prime neighborhoods. There's still a little bit of inventory in some of the neighborhoods that don't necessarily command the pricing, that the other ones do.
We see the exact same thing. Almost all our deals have been multiple offers, deadlines of 5 p.m. that day, over ask, waiving appraisals, waiving everything. Things that we never would recommend to have our clients do in the past. It wouldn't even cross our mind.
They're commonplace now.
It's pretty much standard in these offers.
Yeah, a little recklessness, not really recklessness. You're very calculated.
It's true.
Live on the edge.
Living on the edge. It's true. Yeah. We always say you need to ultimately feel comfortable in this decision, but this is what we're seeing is helping win deals.
Yeah, exactly. Well, so you are both moms and you are business partners.
Yes.
And so how long have you been together as business partners? And I'd love to hear about, just because so many moms are watching, I think it's really interesting to hear about how you ended up in this partnership and how that works for your business.
Sure. All right.
Yeah. So I've been a broker since 2006. I was a solo agent. I was in commercial real estate and then moved into residential about 7 years ago. And I was enjoying doing it on my own, but there was something in me that, I saw other teams in our community and in our market. And there was something in me that always felt like I wanted to have a partner. But I wasn't openly searching for one. It had to be very organic and natural. And Stephanie and I met through our oldest kids. We were in a play group together, actually. And truly within weeks, I knew if I was ever going to partner with anybody, she was the only person that I would be partnering with.
At that time, I was working a corporate ad sales job. I was covering 19 states. I was traveling all over, and I knew I had my first child. I knew I wanted to stay in a sales role, but I didn't really want to be living on an airplane and, missing so much of my daughter's life. So Jacqueline was really every play group, get your license, get your license. So eventually I did, and I came on as the first agent under her. We were then, Jacqueline Lotzof and her team. And then after 2 years, we decided, everything was taking off to become partners. So we've been partners now for 3 years.
And then
3 years.
We have a team, a small but mighty team of 5. We're actually about to bring on our first assistant. We've grown into a whole nother market into the western suburbs. So we're kind of slowly expanding our team.
And our team is all working moms. We're all working moms. So we all are living the same life.
Yes.
We probably need some male.
Yeah, we need some male blood, male energy.
So as from an operations perspective, you're talking about bringing on your first assistant. Do you have somebody who's running operations already, or you guys are all taking on?
It's us. We are very type A, really like to control the process, but we have scaled enough where we finally have realized that this is not sustainable and we need support. So we kind of had a heart-to-heart this week about it. And within seconds, we both were like, we agree, we need this.
Especially at the pace the market's moving. It's like we're out on 10 showings on a Saturday, but you're out with one buyer and the offers are due at 5 and I'm not home at my desk. How does that even work? So we're working on getting that in place.
That's impressive that you made it this far, to be honest with you. I mean,
Yeah.
having all these different agents and listings and buyers, I mean, it's a lot to handle when you're,
Yeah, the
also.
back end's a lot. And we have like our brokerage services to help us, but we've pretty much been running the ship by ourselves.
Yeah, Compass has an incredible platform, but we really need a right-hand person that could just help us, with the paperwork.
Let us be out in the field with our clients while they handle the back.
Completely. That completely makes sense. I'm really impressed that you made it this far. And honestly, I have to say the only reason you probably have is just because you're women. Sorry. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like this is the kind of thing where women are like, yeah, and then I was ironing with my foot while I was like doing a contract and I was feeding the baby.
Yeah.
We each have 3 kids, so they're like off playing on an iPad. We're like, don't talk to us.
Yes, we're like hiding in a closet writing offers.
Yeah. Whatever.
You completely relate.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, it's 100%. Well, I mean, so I guess what I would love to understand then, so you're making this transition, you decided to, get somebody to help both of you. It sounds like you have complementary strengths, or do you feel like, one of you is, stronger in, or do you feel like you have overlapping strengths?
So I think when we run our business, there's certain things she leads and certain things that I lead. Like, she is more involved in our social media and the posting and, working on these First Friday chats and getting that. And I've done a little more of onboarding our agents and training them, teaching them how to use, DocuSign, the Compass platform, even how to interact with buyers and sellers. So I kind of do the training and she does a little more of the social media.
Yeah. But in terms of our style with clients, I'd say we're very complementary. And I'd say we attract people to our team that are complementary to that as well. They want an environment that is similar to kind of how we operate.
Okay. Yeah, that's great. I mean, I think that makes a huge difference. And I think that all partnerships kind of have this kind of complementary aspect of things. And I like that you kind of dated first and didn't, jump in too quickly.
Yeah, right.
I think that's important too.
We had to make sure it was a good fit.
Absolutely. So one of the other things we were going to talk about, was talking about your process with referrals. I think, for all of the agents out there, especially, I think there are a lot of moms still out there wondering, should they take their hand at the business? Should they get into real estate? Yes. It looks like you are having real success hiring moms and, coaching them up to be strong members of your team. I'd love to understand kind of also, because the fact that this is a topic that I think a lot of moms are always curious about, with your process of getting referrals from your sphere of influence, from your network, kind of like, and then I'm assuming some of these moms that are on your team or agents on your team, like, how does that work with, overlap and who's going after what sphere, what grade? I don't even know.
Right. So we always say there's enough piece of the pie for everybody, for sure. Jacqueline lives in Highland Park. I live in Deerfield. Although they're 10 minutes apart. Like, we each kind of live our own life, of our own preschool where we're dropping off our kids, or on soccer teams, or that our husbands may or may not be coaching. So we kind of have, like, even though we're only 5 miles apart, if that, like a completely different sphere of who we're seeing on the weekends, who we're interacting with. So we've never really competed.
Right.
And then one of the agents on our team has college age kids, so she's running in a different sphere than where we're working in.
Right.
So we've kind of worked it out.
We have had a few situations where, like, we've had more and more lately where people will approach us together.
Yeah,
they know both of us.
Partners.
So of course we share that client. But same thing with one of our team members. If a team member has a relationship with somebody that Steph already did, they'll share that client. Like, we try to make it very fluid and just a kind of a very cohesive process where we're not trying to fight after one particular deal. Like, we're all in this for the long haul, and we're all in this for the long-term relationships and one-off deals where, I might have known them 5 minutes before you. Like, we really try to just kind of make it be what works for the greater part of our team.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And for the, market share aspect of things, like that's
for sure.
That's a huge part of this. Now, as far as specializing in the different markets, so you said, so I guess recap for those listening, which markets are you in, which markets are you going into? Then aside from this, operations hire, are there any other hires that you're going to make in the near future?
Yep.
Yeah, so we got our business started here in the North Shore. Although I would backtrack, we both lived in the city, and that's actually where I initially got my license. So when I was moving from commercial real estate to residential, I was moving from the city to the suburbs. So the bread and butter of our business is the majority of the bulk is here in the North Shore of Chicago. That being said, we have many clients that have worked with us for years that are moving from the suburbs to the city. They have children in the city that are buying their first condos. They lived in they lived in the city for many years and they want a suburban home, or a second home. The North Shore has become a market for second homes. During COVID, it all of a sudden, was a little bit of change of pace like it used to be. And so I'd say those are like our most common markets, North Shore and Chicago. But within the last month, we did launch into the western suburbs, and we have an amazing agent out there that is running an office out of Compass in Glen Ellen, and she's going to cover our market out there. So I'd say, as we look to grow, probably our next hire would be someone in the city, like full-time downtown that really wants to help us grow.
We get a lot of people who are buying their first home in the north suburbs. So then they also have a city place. And they want to work with one realtor. So we help with both sides of the transaction. So we're in the city a ton, but we would love to have a full-time person in the city.
Definitely.
Got it. So maybe somebody watching today is the agent.
Yes, for sure. Reach out.
Please DM us. We're actively.
I'm saying I think it's really nice that you're future pacing for your business and having clarity about what it's going to take to expand the way you are. And I would assume that having the two of you as this partnership is probably really great for like brainstorming what next steps are and that kind of thing.
Yes, we talk maybe 50 times a day, and we kind of work as one, and like we can hand off any client to one another, like without even missing a beat. So it's kind of two bodies that help one person, usually.
Right? Which our clients really appreciate.
Yeah.
So right now with the way your team is structured, we were going to talk a little bit about kind of like what you're seeing with vendors. I'm assuming like, with stagers, everything from stagers to the craftsmen that you're using to be able to get homes ready to sell. I'd love to hear kind of what you're seeing in Chicago with that.
So we started our own Instagram live series called this First Friday series a year and a half ago, because we love giving referrals. Like we're connectors naturally. And so we were finding that our clients and non-clients were reaching out to us daily, multiple times a day. Who can stage our home? We need a designer, a painter.
I want to do a mud room. I need landscaping. Like it was a no-brainer.
Right. And we, I have a background in construction as well, coming from a builder family. So we felt like let's provide this qualified referral service to everybody by featuring people that we know, like, and trust on our Instagram. So we started this a year and a half ago out of my garage during COVID before we would go inside. Now we've moved inside. Yep. And we don't pass out a list of referrals because we're always kind of constantly updating it based on availability and just credibility, frankly, and experiences our clients have had. Yeah. But it's something that is just important to us as realtors as the transaction of buying and selling, like providing that credible referral. Because at the end of the day, it's a reflection on us if something goes wrong.
And our buyers have, when they've written us reviews or given a feedback, specifically said they loved that, like, we could bring anyone they needed on a showing with us. When we had time to see a place more than once, several years ago, but, we could bring a contractor with us. We could bring, a painter or whoever they need to get quotes, and so they can feel good about making a proper offer at the right price. And the same thing for sellers, getting the people to make their house, ready to list.
Right. Yeah, we love working with our stagers.
So right now, what are your challenges around staging all these and all of these kind of like different vendor relationships?
The staging hasn't been so much a challenge. Yeah. We have a couple partners we refer to and we love, but I think probably with everywhere we're seeing labor shortages. So we get contractors in and people want to do work before they close, but that's not necessarily right after they close before they move in. That's hard to do right now. People can't get supplies and they can't get people to do the work. So we're seeing that challenge a lot.
And similarly, people want to do work to their homes before they list.
Yes.
But it's hard to get people in as fast as they want to. And with interest rates creeping up, we don't want to wait to get people's homes in the market. Their time is now.
Totally. Yeah, I think the shift is going to happen. I don't know how quickly it's going to happen because I still think that there's a shortage of inventory. And I don't think we're getting to a point where it's, crazy interest rates. But I agree. I mean, listen, I think we're seeing inflation here too, with just the cost of goods and services. Like you're saying, labor is brutal. And But it's good for our kids who are graduating from college because they're all getting incredible jobs.
Yeah. It's
For
true.
sure.
Do you feel like you have a similar role with bringing in designers and stagers and painters and?
Yes, I think,
Yes.
I would say, more and more we're spending a ton of time with stagers. We are getting a lot of different quotes from stagers. I literally had an article, I don't remember where it was just now, where I was quoted about how I spend so much more time on staging than I ever have before because we're pushing pricing,
Yeah.
and that involves staging. And also, from a imagery, building the brand perspective, it's so important to have that great imagery. And so whatever it takes to make sure that the imagery is going to be awesome,
Yeah.
we've been doing, and
Yeah.
so that's something that, I feel like it's taken up way more time than before. Designer wise, yes. The issue we're having though is a lot of the designers don't have bandwidth to take on anybody else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've seen the same thing here.
Yeah.
Waitlist.
Yeah, they're like, the wait list on design. I mean, that's I think what I wasn't expecting, and what I found to be, kind of the craziest with all of this is you think like these were people who were like taking me out to lunch because they wanted to get business, and now they're like, I'll call them, but I can't promise you that I can take them on. And I'm like,
absolutely, we're seeing the same thing in our market. Everyone wants to
know.
improve their space now that we're home more than ever.
I know. It's crazy that we're still seeing that. I think that's really, really interesting. And I'm assuming, are you seeing, are you getting hesitancy from sellers about where they're going to go next still?
Yes, that's probably the number one thing we talk about on a daily basis. Sellers have to take a leap of faith. They have to be willing to go into a rental for a little bit, if they want to take advantage of the higher price points.
We're in a community, a lot of the, more empty nesters want to live in this community once they've sold their larger homes. But there's a shortage of ranches. There's a shortage of homes with first floor primary suites. Mm-hmm. So they're like, we'll just stay where we are. Yeah. But then the homes that they're staying in are all the homes that the city people want to buy.
Yeah.
So it's it's
like
very difficult.
Like,
yes.
No one's really moving. We're kind of frozen.
Yeah.
Right. And do you have a builder business as well of builders that you work with that are building, or is it there's no land?
We do. We have relationships with many local home builders. There is not a lot of land, and the land that is available is very expensive right now. So, we do have those clients that can afford to pay, crazy prices for land, but less of those people are out there.
Yeah, totally. Well, listen, this has been incredible. It's been really, really great to connect and hear what you're doing. I think, especially for moms out there listening to a mom duo partnership, I think is really interesting and really cool. I think all of us feel like that's probably the only kind of partner we could have is another.
Yes, no one understands the life we're living.
No, otherwise no. And I love hearing that you have an all mom team right now.
Yeah.
So
yes.
So well, keep us posted on your big next hire. I think that's amazing, and wishing you all the best in your expansion. Your further expansion. It sounds like we're talking about making sure you get somebody in Chicago downtown, and then again, like the western suburbs, like you're saying. So we are rooting for you here from Moms of Real Estate. And you guys, I guess everybody, where to follow them here on. You have this kind of double name. It's the Lotzof Malk Residential. Which
follow us on Instagram.
Exactly. Follow them on Instagram, and this has been amazing.